welcome to the Film Track. We're talking social media today. If you were looking for the Hunter X whatever sing-along, you were in the wrong place. My name is Patrick Roberts. I'm the Film Track Director. You've probably seen me if you've been in here back and forth. You've probably seen several of us on this panel if you've seen us. But we're not talking about regular film stuff today. We're talking about social media. It's kind of obviously the most important thing in the world right now, unfortunately. So through this discussion, hopefully we'll all find better ways of doing social media that has a better impact, grows our channels, is worth a damn, and isn't just more noise on the internet like everything else that's noise on the internet. So brief introduction. We figure we'll just introduce ourselves down the line. Again, I'm Patrick Roberts. As it works with social media, I presently do that. I create a ton of content for several different magazine publications. The company I work for owns a lot of magazines, and I do a lot of that. Create content, I host, I do stuff. I used to work in news, I've worked in film, I worked in everything, so I've done a lot of stuff. That's my pedigree. Moving on down the line.
Hi, my name's Tara Burton. I'm a professor of marketing at Kennesaw State University, and I teach social media and digital marketing and have been doing so pretty much since it was created. And I also run the social for the digital media track over many hotels from here, because I've walked there from there. But and I do this as a living as well. So I do social as a living.
Hey, I'm Brian Brushwood, and I was too late for YouTube. That's what I told myself in 2006. 2 years later, I started doing Scam School about how to win free drinks at the bar. And then,
that's what I was
yeah, I'm fat and old. But then did a stint on TV and retreated back to social media where you have control over your shit. It's great. Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Oh.
It's a film track. Curse all you want, damn it.
We get in trouble at the digital track before 10.
Well,
I love this.
Well, yours is being streamed.
We're down and dirty.
Oh, that's true. Fuck this.
It's early on Sunday for me, so I'm gonna be. I'm Chris Gore from Film Threat. I'm an armchair social media marketing. I love marketing and all aspects of it. All my projects, I do my own marketing. Everything from films that I've made to side projects like an award show, and my company Film Threat, which is a YouTube channel and website that reviews movies with a primary focus on independent film. So I have a YouTube channel where I live stream 3 days a week. We take clips from that and post on YouTube. We also live stream simultaneously on Rumble and X. And when it comes to marketing, I learn as I go, but I do have a lot of lessons I'd love to pass on to you about what I've learned. I read one book about marketing when I was in college. Used to read books for, just recreation. And to be fair, I dropped out of college 2 years in, because I thought, well, I could spend the money that I'm spending on tuition on making movies or starting this zine called Film Threat. That's what I did. So ironically, I've written books and been invited to speak at USC, UCLA, AFI, to students paying a lot of money in tuition. So, but I really thought to myself, well, if I just read all the books they assign in college, I'll get the same education. So I went to the campus of USC and bought all the books that were part of the film program that I could afford at the time. Then I made a list of all the books. Then I read all the books that the USC film students read. I just read those. So I'm kind of self-educated. But I read one book on marketing called Marketing Warfare. It's a great book. It was the old edition, but it's all about rivalries in marketing. Burger King, McDonald's, Coke, Pepsi. Why Pepsi actually prefers to be number 2. Among other things that I learned a lot from that book. So I'm just self-taught, self-educated.
Was it brand warfare?
Marketing warfare.
Marketing.
Okay, so all right.
Marketing warfare. Great. But I read the edition they put out in the 80s. So I'm sure it's been updated, but the stories were really interesting about Coke and Pepsi and whatnot. So I'm gonna I'm rambling. It's Sunday, but I am sober, so there's that.
Sorry about that.
And you had caffeine.
Yes, a lot. So, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks.
I'm Jeff.
Yeah.
My name's Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Long-winded to listen.
I am a filmmaker and a cautionary tale in social media. I haven't put up a video in 7 years on my channel. I have a YouTube channel, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was emotive. Hi, I'm Jeff. Again, I don't make any videos anymore. No, I am going to make videos, right?
Sure you are.
Because YouTube, it's never too late.
That is a fact.
Yeah,
It is never too late. Okay, so I'm going to get back to it. But anyway, my background is film and technology, right? And so I can tell you a lot about social media and advertising your film. I can tell you a lot about what happens to your channel when you don't post videos.
Yep.
And I can tell you a lot about how AI is going to take all of our jobs.
Fuck. Thought that might happen.
So with that, let's just jump right into it. You had mentioned what happens when you don't post things on YouTube. What lessons have you learned about that?
When I don't post anything.
Well, when one does not, maybe not you specifically.
Okay,
But.
the audience, your audience, whoever your audience is, they forget you really fast, especially on YouTube, where fad is always Riz, I guess. I don't know.
Don't ever say that again.
Control yourself.
It takes about I would say a month before your channel is almost entirely forgotten, before your presence is forgotten, right? You may make some great content that comes up in searches periodically. So my content is informative, and so those videos will always come back up because somebody's always searching for that. Not for me, right? Not because I did it, but because my content just happened to be relevant to something that they were searching for. So you never disappear entirely, but you can really stunt your growth by taking a long break. Don't do that. Even if it gets hard, put something out there. Just say hi. That's be there.
And,
Showing up is part of it.
And I can kind of second that. I've gone through. I presently have a YouTube channel that's filled with a bunch of crap. Ghost Cat Patrick, please subscribe, subscribe, share, all that crap. It's not good. I used to post really, really, really good stuff, and then I post like once every couple months, and the really, really good stuff was getting no hits, no likes, no nothing. And then I took all that stuff down, and I started my channel over again. And I post, I do once a week, at least once a week. And of those once a week, about every 2 or 3 months, I post something good. The rest of it is just me saying, I promised I was going to do this, and I'm doing this. Thanks for watching. Bye. And they get hits. They get comments. I don't go viral or anything, but it just keeping that presence there. It just keeps people aware of who you are. I get new subscribers for me just talking to the camera about nothing. So, yes, what he's saying right now, absolutely true. Post if you're gonna.
Well, I think it's worth noting that when you get subscribers from that kind of content, essentially you are just showing up. The entire unit of story is I showed up today. But what you cannot know is whether or not this is the 20th day in a row you've shown up in their timeline, their perspective, and they're like, you know what, this guy, he's not even doing anything. I just realized I'm happy when he shows up, even if he's got nothing to say. Yeah. And then they hit subscribe. Quick note about subscriptions. Subscribers means absolutely nothing. Yep. Subscriber is simply a delightful graveyard. It is a memorial to the single moment that somebody cared so deeply about your product, your service, your story, that they went through the heroic action of doing that. And then they've forgotten about it, and you've forgotten about it, and now it's just one more marker on the gravesite. Now, having said that, it's valuable because of social proof and all of that stuff.
Right.
It's also important to remember people are watching videos differently these days, so that you'll scroll, but you don't actively engage even if you're watching. So time spent watching has become infinitely more important to gauge how you're doing. But I agree, use shorts as a way on YouTube to stay relevant as well, because those you can do quickly. People don't expect high quality content.
Thank God.
You know, I mean, there is high quality. I have a favorite short YouTuber that I love, and she does great stuff, but it's a much more forgiving place, I think.
I can say everything I know about YouTube in about a minute. We started live streaming about 3 years ago, me and my co-host Alan Ng, and we do 3 live streams a week, always, never not. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday is our group panel show. We got about 9 people talking topics. Wednesday is our show called Hollywood on the Rocks, mostly news show. And then we do a show on Friday, our LIVECAST, where we review every movie that opens in theaters, along with some indies here and there. We pepper our Wednesday and Friday show with interviews with filmmakers. We have really 2 audiences. The audience that watches the live show, that's a different audience that watches our clips. We isolate clips of news stories and reviews. They're anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. That's a completely different audience. I know that from the comments. People that watch the clips hate us and critique our opinions or my hair. And then the live stream people, mostly for the most part, love us because they watch us make mistakes and things go wrong, and you're watching us kind of live make the show, so you see all the warts and all of what's going on. So over the course of like 3 years of doing that, we built up to about 150,000 subs, average views on our live streams like 10 to 15,000, on the clips anywhere from 5 plus. Something occasionally goes viral. It's usually timely, you know, Cracker Barrel, Rachel Zegler, whatever's in the zeitgeist. Sometimes you do it on purpose, sometimes you don't, but consistency is king. If you build audience, it's through that. Also, I think you have a relationship with your audience. So while other shows will only read super chats, we read super chats, but we also are regular people who show up on the show. We like to read their comments. We want to know what they think. And there's that audience shows up. There's like 2 shows going on. 1, the live show that we're doing. And 2, the people in the comments talking to each other, making friends. So it's about building community. We also use YouTube as a social media platform. There's the community tab on YouTube. We post there a couple times a week. So we post what we're doing, my schedule at DRAGONCON, funny memes about Alan and I. We're always getting memed in goofy, dumb ways. Baby me, like Alan and I is like little movie parodies. We post it, so we use the community tab as you would use X. I don't care about all that much. I just use X to promote. I post and ghost for the most part. Same thing with Instagram. I'm a smartass, so if you're following me, I'll probably say something that offends you. One of my tweets that almost got me canceled, there were articles written about 4 words I wrote on X one time. There were articles written about these. How can he say this? All I said was, make Marvel male again. That was it. Turned into t-shirts, articles, arguments. Tons of other channels did videos about my 4 words of a tweet. People unfriended me. It was bizarre in real life. So, I tend to post and ghost. I stay out of the fray. I'm a jackass. I'm trying to provoke, and if you know me or have known me from doing Film Threat since I started it as a kid in 1985, I'm the same jackass I've always been. So anyone who's like, you've changed, Gore, it's like, no, maybe you're just paying attention. So, anyways, that's all I really know about YouTube. Still learning. I mean, we're slow growth, but there, if you do want to grow your channel, I think one of the biggest things you can do is appear on other shows. So on occasion, I stream with Gary Beekler at Nerdrotic. I don't know why he's not here.
Right? Yeah, I'm a
Critical Drinker, he's got 1 million+ subs. but we have a show on Mondays called Versus, and we bring in all types of YouTubers of all sizes who are just good at talking about ideas. I like discussion of ideas. I don't care if we agree. That's boring. If we are in an echo chamber where we all agree, there's no opportunity for me to learn anything. I can have my mind changed, give me some wacky theory about a film. I love to hear it. So I like disagreement because it'll either solidify my own position or I'll learn something and change my mind. I don't get offended by much. So I don't know if anyone learned anything from that, but I'm trying to. And I also have some really specific advice later for indie filmmakers about how to use social media. I'll end it there.
Chris mentioned something I think is fairly profound. He pointed out that the audiences are different based on the modality of YouTube. A quick parallel that we can all understand is think about DRAGONCON. DRAGONCON is not one convention. It is 40 conventions that happen to be happening at the same time in the same place. That is how you should think of YouTube. There is a channel, all the source material, you got your raw beer in the live feed, you distill it into selected videos that you post, and it gets distilled even down more to the shots. And there are people of the shorts, and there are people who will experience the entirety of your project. If they stick around for an entire lifetime of watching your story and keeping up with you, you should be completely agnostic. At some point, Film Threat became to me a series of headlines that I always intend to open in my email, but I always get the gist of kind of what's going on over there. That's fine. That apparently is the equilibrium of how Film Threat is meant to exist in Brian's brain space, right? And then likewise, there are people who apparently only watch The Modern Rogue while they're pooping because they cannot be bothered to ever click on the long form video. That's fine, as long as you're getting paid.
Is 40 the number of tracks at DC?
Oh, I have no idea.
Is it magic number?
Yeah. Well, and keep in mind, there's also people who experience DRAGONCON not even as a track or a convention. They experience it as the place where you go to the lobby and see the costume people, or the place where the parade is. It all exists. Remember the parable of the 5 blind dudes trying to describe an elephant.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but very different to everybody.
It's a great analogy.
Did you have a question?
Well, yeah, I was just going to kind of ask, kind of going on that same line, and this is really maybe more a question for Gary, who's not here, but
I can speak for Gary.
You talked about having 2 kind of audiences with the live stream versus when you kind of cut them up into segments. I wonder about, like, Gary does 2 kinds of things where they do the live streams with like Friday Night Tights and everything, but then he also does very produced content.
Videos.
And I wonder if you feel like you get separate audiences there too.
Yes, he does do clips, he does do live streams, the Nooner, Real BBC, FNT on Fridays, but he does produced videos. Those get more views. The reason is the algorithm on YouTube apparently recognizes that something is cut, meaning it's not just straight clips of people talking, which those do well if they're about a specific topic, 5-10 minute video about a topic, but his produced edited videos will get anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million views. And he has a little over 1 million subs.
Yeah.
So, and those, a lot of people who don't subscribe watch the produced videos.
Well, that's kind of
but they don't necessarily watch the live streams.
I found them through produced, then
Right.
Friday Night Tights.
Exactly.
I found you
So,
guys and everybody. So
as you pointed out, there are multiple audiences depending on the vertical of what it is. So, and even we split, for example, I love to interview indie filmmakers. I love it. I include it as part of our live stream to trick my audience into learning about an indie movie and maybe getting inspired by a filmmaker. We had on the filmmaker Luke Spark, who did the movie Primitive War recently. He was on the show. But what we did was we would clip the interviews, post them on the channel, would do terrible. So we spin off and did a Film Threat interviews channel. Then we split off and did a Film Threat trailers channel. We post indie film trailers. So we have 3 channels that are like sister channels. The main Film Threat channel, reviews and live streams. interviews, and then trailers. So recognize when an audience might even drag you down. I don't ignore it. I try to spin it into something else. So our trailer channel does very well, but limited. It's small. So you have to recognize that. Yeah.
Question in the back?
Yeah. So earlier we talked about posting like regularly on whatever social media that you're posting on. Is there a saturation point? Is there a point where you're like, I'm posting so much that maybe my content's being lost and things are not where it needs to be?
I worry about that less these days, and this is actually a question I'd pass on to Tyra. I suspect that algorithmically, YouTube has gotten so good with the instant A, B, C, D, E, F, G testing, where it's like within seconds, it's figured out, oh, this is one of those kind of episodes. And this is the demographic that is correlated with that. So it used to be that part of the reason you would have multiple channels is for hygiene, brand consistency. When I think of this thing, I get that thing. But now it's so algorithmically sorted that I don't worry about putting garbage out there, because then YouTube, like a good agent, for example, let's say you're Lady Gaga's agent, and Lady Gaga's going through a phase where she only wants to play one note on the banjo and for a very long time. Now you're her agent, so you're gonna say, chase that butterfly, whatever, but you're gonna make sure to book a very small venue, and you're only going to tell her hardest core fans who are going to be there to hear one note on a banjo. So the agent did Lady Gaga a favor by letting her do her crazy one note banjo thing, did the audience a favor by the vast majority of them never having heard about this weird one note banjo thing. That's what the YouTube algorithm does, as best I can tell.
Yeah, no, and it's become increasingly important to understand search engine optimization. So we used to talk about that with just Google. It is absolutely something you have to understand on YouTube, on Instagram, on any social media platform. You need to know the language that people use that you're targeting for those videos. And that will help, because that's how they figure out what to deliver. You get 5,000 freaking words on YouTube. Do not use them all, but use ones that are important. And I would also say that, like Morrissey, who's the president of Instagram, whose name I butcher every single time, but he actually talked about the concept of how much you post. And he said that it was actually okay not to post every single day, but to be consistent. And if you do go long periods of time without posting, you will fall off that algorithm. But he was very honest about that, which made me feel better, because that pressure to post every day, if you're on a platform like that, is tremendous. But then to have the president of Instagram say, no, really, a couple times, you're good. Just don't go away.
Well, and what I cannot overstate this enough. About 1 year ago, I started just watching the raw feed. I posted about 1,000 shorts every single day for 15, 30 minutes. I would watch the raw feed, and there's a wonderful thing that happens after you post. In politics, you have your last speech, you have election night, and then you buckle up for the returns. And then early on, you can tell you're not going to win, and you have to watch yourself not win. We don't have that problem. What if you could go back in time and change your last speech and then affect the election night returns to give a more congruent message? You get that in the fact that you can alter the thumbnail and the title after the post. So if something is falling off, then either the pitch, think of the content as the letter, and then the title and thumbnail is the envelope. It could be a check for $1 million, but if it looks like a Valpak coupon thing, you're gonna throw it away. So it's not the fault of the content if it's tanking. You can fix it by real time. Try a title and watch that feed, and you will see an increase. If you, for example, maybe you do a mystery play and withhold information, or maybe you change it to something topical, part of the zeitgeist or what have you. There are videos that I thought were duds, and then 15, 20 minutes of just iterating, you find one and you see the spike and you're like, all right, let me not touch it. And then it ends up being a runaway because the title and thumbnail were congruent with the audience's interest and the content on the inside. But the more you immerse yourself in the raw feed, the more you force yourself to look and understand and ask why, the more clear the mental model of whatever this wonderful 24-hour rave is of your fans is like, is it time to drop the beat now, or no, now it's time for a mellow song and a bathroom break or whatever. I hate that as I get older I drift into more hippie shit talk, but I'll be damned if it's just read the room and the vibes and understand you're always performing a concert. But unlike now, where we have real-time fidelity and I can track body posture and engagement and, you know, up close eye dilation and whatever, YouTube is constantly, imagine doing a concert in your apartment and your audience is 3 apartments away and you can only hear from the gossip doors down how you're doing. That's if you can, that's not a lot of information, but it is enough if you fully pay attention to it.
Well, and pay attention to those in your genre, because they may have already figured some of that out. So like, if there's a certain type of way a thumbnail looks or a certain type of headline that those within your genre are using and are being successful with, copy that. I mean, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
And I'll say that
maybe
we A/B test thumbnails for certain videos, just to see what thumbnails perform better. I don't do them. I have a producer that does thumbnails, clips, does all that. I'm on the show. That's what I do. That's my job, is to make that content. I do know that we do try to do things like, if it's a clip of a review, not say what we think in the thumbnail. So if it's like, Snow White sucks, Snow White sucks, question mark, is probably better. But also it leads to people going, your channel's toxic. Well, you didn't watch you didn't watch the video. You only react. I notice a lot of comments react to thumbnails, not the content, actual content. So there you go.
I saw a hand in the back. Oh, sorry.
One more word about creating content every day. If you have a small channel and you have like a day job and you're not like these guys who get paid for this and this is what their career is, that is not only incredibly difficult to do and maintain, it can be detrimental to your life to try to post something every day and to have that anxiety of, God, I got to get something out. I go a couple times a week tops. I wouldn't try to do every day if you're just starting out. These guys, if you have a producer who's doing shit for you,
Oh, that's beautiful.
absolutely show up, be the host, do what you got to do. But if you're just, you know, a couple hundred subscribers, don't try to do that.
One thing I do
Kill
with
yourself.
one thing I do with my X and Instagram account, because I don't like to post every day. I post maybe a couple times a week. I just post the same post. So my girlfriend and I, we go to see movies a lot, and I always take a picture of us, and I take a picture of like the poster for the movie we're seeing, and I just say, really looking forward to seeing this one. And I say that every time. I posted that probably 50 times, but it's a different movie. And then people react. I say, you really looking forward? They obviously don't follow. So it's a running joke that it's the same post. I cut and paste it. I use a different hashtag Jaws, you know, or whatever we're seeing. And that's just an in-joke for myself.
Well, but also it
Takes the pressure off.
plays at multiple levels. Remember that you're playing to a crowd, and so there's some people, this is the first thing they encounter, and they're not hip to the fact that this is, you know, there's detached irony to it.
Yeah.
But they're all like, I guess this is a guy who likes that movie. And then the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time, they'll become one of the insiders.
Right.
And again, it's all about earning that real estate in other people's minds. The more you think about it as a 24-hour live performance, the more clear it'll go. And in terms of the rules appear to be the same at all levels. If you're dealing in the hundreds, then you're just dealing with an extremely low resolution picture of how things are. And then it does get easier when you pass a certain threshold. You get to statistically significant, 1,000 impressions in an hour. You get faster. It's just like the Hubble Space Telescope was replaced by the James Webb. It's like that's all you get is a clearer picture when you get to more statistically significant numbers.
Real quick, when you're really, really tiny, okay, and you're just trying to build up subscribers or you're just trying to build up any kind of interaction whatsoever, any kind of engagement, that consistency of the kind of content that you're producing is actually really important at those early stages, because if you only have 2 videos and they're both completely different, then am I going to subscribe to this guy? I don't know. I don't know what he's making. The first one was fine, but this one's, I don't know what he was doing. At that initial level, you want to think about who you are presenting yourself as, and particularly think about what the goal is for your channel, because it's not always I don't want to be a YouTube star. I want to sell my movies, and I want to sell myself as a creator of good movies, right? So the content that channel makes needs to go along with that goal, right? And if you do accidentally become famous, even though you weren't trying, then everything they just said becomes absolutely important if you decide you want to go that way. At the small level, figure out what it is you're trying to sell. If it's you, then that's one thing. If it's your movies, that's another thing. If it's cars or whatever, it's all different. But start at when you're with 1 to 10 subscribers. Make consistent content based on what you want to sell.
Can I just add something to that? A friend of mine, Robert Meyer Burnett, said that authenticity is the currency of the future.
Yep.
I feel the one thing that people who do blow up on YouTube have is, at least, I'm not sure if they're actually authentic, but a perception that they are authentic. Yeah. I really do think your authentic voice matters a lot. The only, I don't get offended if people have different political views. I really don't care. If I aligned up with someone, if I have to align with someone on everything politically, socially, whatever, I'd have 0 friends. Yeah. My friends have all kinds of views. It's fine, whatever. I don't really care. The only kind of post that pisses me off is the couple that looks perfect. Yep. Because fuck them. I know they're not perfect. It annoys the crap out of me. They're really trying to just pander to their partner. It's just annoying when I see, usually Instagram, perfect couples that post everything is perfect all the time and how much they love each other. Post your arguments, post your dude, just be real, because I can smell the phoniness in that. So the authenticity matters.
Don't forget my man in the corner over here. He's been waiting.
Oh yeah.
Patiently.
So, going off what you were talking about earlier about the algorithms, in the wake of YouTube's decisions with the new, I'm trying to remember the thing with the IDs, you know what I'm talking about? How that'll impact making content going forward on the platform.
I don't know if I was able to hear that. What was the question?
So, back in mid-August, there was the new, I'm trying to remember the system, but
They want verification of your identity for you to be online and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's UK though.
Yeah, but it's affecting the world really.
I am not dialed in on that.
I'm aware that it happened. It hasn't affected me yet.
Yeah, I haven't been asked to.
Also, I don't know that it changes any of the core fundamentals, because no matter what your platform is, they're all just different funhouse mirrors reflecting the same reality. And I see this so often. People forget that there are real humans on the other side.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Everybody obsesses about oh, well, this channel gets these numbers and this channel gets these other numbers, and well, I guess people like that, they don't. It's amazing how many people don't pause to think. Do you ever think that maybe it's the same people? Maybe it's people who already like your stuff, and then you're like, well, I got another name for it, or I still like it. And it's just as long as you, as soon as you can, find out just how deep your relationship with the audience goes by seeing how many people will follow the party somewhere else. That's how you know who's actually at your party, is if you say, hey guys, moving next door, and then only half people go with it. That's how many people were actually at the party, and other people were just fucking tourists. Get rid of, don't worry about the tourists. They're shallow interactions. They're pleasant people you say hello to. They're somebody who watches you while they take a poop. That's fine. What you care about are your hardcores, the people who are actually at your party. And the only way to find out, I've heard it said once that smashing atoms, a subatomic theory, is like trying to figure out how a piano works by listening to the sound of them smash on the pavement from a skyscraper. That's what you need to do by seeing how many people will make the leap from YouTube to get your free ebook on your website, or how many people on the website or the email will follow you on a secret underground. I used to have a Black Ops Twitter thing, and all I said was, sometimes I'm gonna ask you to do things that I need to not be on the record asking you to do it. And so people, just the idea of being in a Black Ops, and so before everything was tracked always, I would say like, yo, we're up for an award on this poll, and I'd let it go for 15 minutes and I'd yank it. But because there was enough of a connection, because enough people were there at the party, in an untrackable way, a flash mob would show up and vote for a thing, and everyone would go, what happens? And everyone goes, tee hee hee. But the point is, remember they're real humans, and yes, you're having a very asymmetrical but very powerful relationship with them.
Well, and I think we were talking about when you're first getting started, engagement is so important. So if somebody mentions you, tags you, comments, you really need to interact and engage back. I think as you get bigger, people expect less of that, or you have a PA that's doing it. I want that day one day. But especially when you're starting out, you have to get that. And also, you're driving them someplace where you have more control. You don't control YouTube, you don't control Instagram or TikTok or anything. So figure out where the place is that you want to drive them so that they will know when your movie comes out without YouTube having to deliver that to them in their For You page or on the suggested stream. So whether that's a newsletter or a website, have some place where you can get in contact with those hardcore people. That was brilliant, by the way. The Black Ops thing. Love it.
Can I add? Oh, sorry. No, he had a question. I was going to say something I thought might be helpful.
You have a microphone, so you can go.
Oh. But he has his hand up.
I'm sure he'll ask it after you're done.
Okay. Sorry, man.
But anyways, I was.
Yes, please.
There you go. Fortune favors the bold.
Is your like for your live feeds? Is your just one position? YouTube. I mean, don't you? I mean, say for the sake of live feeds. Like I say, I have my one of my friends. He's primarily Twitch, and then I have another one that he simulcasts. He's like Twitch, YouTube, whatever.
Rumble.
Yeah,
Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble, and then like one other.
Kick, probably.
Yeah, Kick.
Odyssey.
But he does it. But he does the one recording, but he simulcasts across all four.
Yeah, we do that. We do Rumble and X, and multiple X accounts. My personal, the Film Threat one. Twitch never really. It's not our audience. I think that's more gaming and scantily clad women. I think that's Twitch.
I stream on Twitch and I keep all my clothes on.
There you go. So we do it just to see. Rumble, we get decent engagement on Rumble. X, it's almost like getting a notification that we're live on YouTube. People would rather. YouTube is a really great platform.
Yeah.
It's the #1 streaming platform. It's bigger than Netflix.
It's number 2 search engine.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
And they own the
yeah,
number one.
it's I use it for a lot of things. I also watch a lot of YouTube. My colleagues like Gary, Neurotic, and Drinker. But yeah, multi-streaming is helpful. I don't make a lot of money on.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
X.
Monetization.
Yeah, like I think
more
it's
places.
$30 a month from Twitter, from X.
Can we talk about monetization real quick?
Yes, please.
Sure.
That was going to be a question I had.
Do not worship at the altar of monetization, because if there is an efficient market, if whatever you're making on, let me put it this way: if the #1 way you're making money on your content is with programmatic ads, with AdSense, there's something dreadfully, terribly wrong with your entire operation. AdSense should account for 5 to maybe 20% of your revenues. So whatever you're making in AdSense, you can make you can be making that, again, in direct contributions with Patreon. You should have a deeper environment people can buy into. You can make 4 times that with direct sponsorships. Who should sponsor it? Think about your content and do the legwork to find somebody to sponsor it. You should be, and then on top of that, the massive everything underneath the surface is have an online store and make it possible for somebody to invent a way to give you unbelievable amounts of money. The thought experiment that I hit up all the creators is I say, imagine there's a Saudi prince out there who's 14 years old and has $1 billion. He loves you more than anything on the planet. There's one way he's not allowed to give you money, and that's by filling in a box that says donate. He must pretend to be buying transactional items that he needs. And I say, in 24 hours, how much money can this hypothetical Saudi prince give you through your online store without you lifting a finger? Usually the answer maxes out at around $200. And meanwhile, the first change you can make is you should have a small, medium, and large edition. Most brilliant thing Starbucks ever did is make it possible for somebody to spend $20 on a 99-cent cup of coffee. Now, granted, somebody says, that's insane. I'd never spend 20. I'll only spend 7. That is what you need to have on your online offerings, and that so at least make it possible for that to be the depth of where the money comes from. Does that track?
Yeah.
No, merch is always important. I think merch is what survives with musicians. Musicians don't make money off of music, unfortunately. They make it off of merch and touring. And so figure out what it is that you're trying to push. If it's your films, how do you get them to your films? Because you're not going to make it off the live stream. That's just a supplemental thing. If it's white papers or workshops or retreats, whatever that is, figure out how you're going to lead them there eventually. We also live stream on multiple channels, and the other thing I will say is those audiences are different. The people that are commenting on our Facebook live stream are very different than the ones commenting on our Twitch live stream. And so we have different things that appeal to both of them, and Patreon is a lot of times where we try to drive them.
Yeah, I say multiple revenue streams are critical. So you can give us, you watch the show, we get Google AdSense money from that. It's not much. Super Chat which is really helpful. We do have a shop.filmthreat.com. We sell like shirts and all kinds of merch with our logo, but it's done in different like classic movie logos, like Back to the Future and whatnot. So we make it fun. We got like almost 100 designs of shirts, which you can slap on a mug or a whatever. We haven't gotten into Patreon yet, but we do sell memberships on our channel, and we post a lot of videos every week for members, like goofy stuff where Alan and I go to see films, or I film every Q&A for every movie I go to, and then I post it only for members. So we do a lot of that. So multiple revenue streams are critical. And then we make money on our website, filmthreat.com, through ads. We just sell ads. You can book an ad on the site through filling out a form. It's really simple.
Really quickly, because you don't make a lot of money just monetizing your videos, you may be tempted to not monetize your videos, right?
Still stream.
That is a mistake because the algorithm favors the videos that are monetized. And so as soon as you have enough subscribers to monetize your videos, monetize them all. And I mean, I hate it. Everybody hates it, but that is the way the algorithm works. And so if you want to keep your videos in the stream, they have to be monetized.
I actually have a story about that. A very interesting story. I work for the company I work for. Produces a lot of content.
Hi, track director. Use a microphone.
That was a good one. The company that I work for produces a lot of content for the automotive industry. We also produce a lot of original content that has automotive industry sponsors as that pays bills. So we have one title, and I don't want to get too specific about my company, but we have one title that does fairly well. They make a lot of money off of sponsorship, but they don't really make a whole lot of money off the YouTube presence. And then we have another company underneath our company that earns basically nothing in sponsorship, but gets a lot of hits on YouTube. So I created to kind of combat this other title that my company was putting so much interest in. I made a really, really cool motorcycle show. and we got very little sponsorship for this. It was a very big show. It was a very expensive show, but we only got like 60 grand to make this show happen. I turned on, I had our people turn on our monetization on that specific show. Suddenly we got like 3 times the hits we get off of this other what they call successful title, and it's all just because we turned it on, and it was like almost overnight. It was the most watched thing on our site was my stupid little show where I take motorcycles cross country and talk to motorcycle people about motorcycle shit. It was great. It was a lot of fun, but it was only popular because we turned on monetization. It went from nothing to 1,000 like overnight.
So,
yeah.
Really quickly, does anybody here, are you filmmakers trying to sell your film, or trying to position yourself? Anybody, any filmmakers? Excellent. Few. Yeah.
Let's do this.
I love that gentle hand raise.
Let's do this. One person per row, stand up right now. There we go. Okay, great.
Excellent coordination.
Why are you here?
To hang out with Chris Gore.
All right, sit down. Why are you here?
Hear your advice.
Okay, for what? What do you got? What's your
For YouTube expanding your reach.
Okay, what about you?
Same YouTube advice and to meet Chris.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Let's meet Chris.
I'm an artist looking to get my art out there.
Okay, do you have a presence right now?
Not really.
Okay, so you're just this is great. You're learning about the landscape before you start your journey. That's good. All right, what about you?
I'm a voice actor trying to get myself out there a little bit more.
Okay, great. Yep.
I'm a musician with about 6,000 Instagram followers trying to figure out how to move people to that next platform.
Great.
Cool.
We decided 2 days before DRAGONCON to launch a t-shirt company, so we're trying to figure out how to...
Great.
I'm a film actor who's trying to get my face out there.
All right, awesome. So here's the way I see the world. There are only 3 currencies. There's story, attention, and sales. Story is the thing that you got. Some of you, it's your talent. Some of it's your literal story. Some of you have a product that you want to sell. Attention, that's real estate in other people's minds. It starts off shallow and transactional. It becomes deeply relational over time. Sales, we think of a dollar sign. It's not necessarily about money. It's action. Those 3 nouns, story, attention, sales. There's a clockwise circle. That's the only way it goes. With the verbs gift, you give the gift of your story to earn real estate in their mind. You harvest that attention into action. Sign up for my email, come to my party, come to this panel, and then you reinvest it to making your story bigger on an ongoing basis. All of you are wealthy to some degree in one of those 3 currencies, usually 2 of them, and then there's usually the 3rd one that you're weak on. I see creators who are under monetizing. I see businesses who are ignoring the value of story. If this is of interest to you, now I'm going to plug. I'm doing a 2-day workshop. No bullshit. I've spent like the last 5 years thinking, what is the common thread? What seems to have worked? And so I'm starting to do these 2-day intensive workshops. And talk to me afterwards if you're interested.
Can I give a piece of advice that will apply to filmmakers and also most of the people that stood up? It's a lesson I learned about marketing a film project. So for every project I would do, a podcast, film I would make, I would start a website. I'd go to register.com or GoDaddy. I'd register the site. I'd pay Wix $500 a year, build the site, and it's a pain in the ass to maintain. I hate giving Register money every year. I hate paying Wix every year. I'm like, fuck this. So for all the projects I do now, I use Linktree. So I start a Linktree. I have a personal Linktree, linktree.com/thatchrisgore. I have a Linktree for Film Thread, Linktree/Film Thread. I do an award show for indie films every year, Linktree/award this. Attack of the Doc is a documentary I made. We used to have a website for that, which was a pain to maintain. Linktree/Attack of the Doc, DOC. If you look, I read an article recently about dead movie websites. If you look at movie marketing from even 5-10 years ago, every movie that would come out would have a website. Now they're dead. They're not maintained. They lose the .com. They don't do websites. Now movies, for the most part, have an Insta, an X, a Facebook, one of those, but they all have a hashtag. Jurassic World Rebirth is the official hashtag. Great, everything you want to know. That's what I do now. All of my projects have a Linktree. It's my personal Linktree links to my Instagram. It links to all my other Linktrees. It links to everything on social, how to contact me. My Attack of the Doc, which is my movie, has a Linktree. It links to where you can buy the Blu-ray, where you can watch the movie on YouTube. It links to the trailer. Everything people need, about maybe 10 links. Where's the trailer? Where can I buy it? Can I see it on VOD? Is there any other info? We link to a video that was at the premiere of Attack of the Doc. It's a very simple Linktree. Copy me, rip me off. I'm telling you right now to steal what I've been doing. You're not gonna pay register.com every year. You're not gonna pay for a website. And Linktree is free. They kind of want you to pay for it. It's actually reasonable. It's under $100. I still don't pay. If you go to Linktree and then
it's linktr.ee.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Yeah, slash that Chris Gore, you'll see everything about me. There's a link to an X post about all the panels I'm doing, including this one. There's links to all my other projects: Film Threat, Award This, Attack of the Doc, Room for More projects. Make a Linktree. It's a personal Linktree. Do separate Linktrees for other projects. Grab the social name for your. Whenever I start a project, I'll figure out what's the name. Oh, it's this. Grab everything social, including the Gmail, in case I want a YouTube channel. I have that for everything I do, including future projects I haven't done yet. But use my Linktree. I'm gonna call it my Linktree hack. Because it's cheaper and easier to maintain. You don't have to hire anyone to do a website. You can make it any colors and design it. You can I put my most recent announcements at the top, but it's everything you need about me, everything question you would possibly have.
The only thing I'm gonna say is, if you're an artist and you're building a portfolio or you're a voice actor, please get your name. Please if you're gonna buy one domain, get at least one domain, because that Linktree, what he could also be doing is having that on his website instead of being hosted by Linktree, having basically a page on the website that's, hey Chris, I'm awesome.com, that also has that's a hidden page, and that will feed into the Google algorithm better than the Linktree will. So you can create that same thing on one website that you own, that then is feeding into those search engines. Now, I will say social is now feeding into search engines more and more. Google's the place we look for that. I have a Linktree too. I think it's awesome and absolutely beautiful, but I own tyraburton.com, and I didn't say I was gonna change my name when I got married until I knew I could buy it, because I drive everybody there. I own it, I can maintain it, I can get it in Google search. So you can actually build that Linktree there, but have that one domain that you have.
Yeah, I find just out of simplicity, it works. I've told this to every filmmaker who contacts me. I'm like, you don't need a website, just do a Linktree for your movie. Because people have one question: how can I see it? How can I see it? Mostly, show me a trailer, and you can embed videos on Linktree too. Also, the Linktree goes to my shop. And you can now embed items from your shop in the Linktree. I do that on the Film Threat Linktree. Look it up, look up the Linktrees, copy me, but copy me for what works for you, right? Steal this idea. If it's a good idea, steal it. So, yeah.
I just grabbed Modern Rogue Linktree.
There you go, yeah! Live!
Oh, okay. I just wanted to...
Yeah, Devon, what's up?
I just wanted to add, I use Linktree as well, and it's perfect when I'm on a bunch of people's podcasts more than my own. So.
Yeah, it's great for, oh my gosh, perfect.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, where's the link? And then it's easy. You just give them that one Linktree, and they put it in their chat, the chat box for people to click on during the intros or outros, wherever.
You can even put a link to your Patreon, a link to your PayPal to donate. Like donate. You could. It's so versatile. And I've hired web designers for a long time. Now my Film Threat website, like that's a website, searchable database. It has a
his
purpose.
website.
That's a website, but a Linktree is it's like an FAQ. So,
It's a
There's
bookmark.
a guy with a question back
Yeah, I
there.
was just gonna say one more thing on Linktree. I actually A/B tested because we had our band name go to Linktree with a .com, and we found that the Linktree got more traffic on our link in bios because people know what to
they
expect
know what it
when they
is.
go there.
Yes, you can get stats from your Linktree, monthly stats, and see how it performs. So I'm always changing the links and the order, like what's I'm gonna be at DRAGONCON, that's on my
gonna be the
Linktree.
top.
So and then I'll change it when I'm not here. So
And they're great we did one for collaboration on the digital media track where I had our panelists send me their links, and then I linked all of them on a link tree that was like, here's the digital media panelist and here's how you can find out more about them. And collaborations work really well in social as well if you're growing, particularly if you're growing, find you somebody with a bigger audience.
but even linking to other link trees is kind of like this weird labyrinth.
I've done
that. But it works. It's like it's now the headache. I'm not doing a website for every project. Just that. I mean, Film Threat is its own thing. That's separate. But I find that works. It's easier to do. So
I just got Linktree Brian Brushwood.
yeah. And then link to your company from that link tree. Oh my God.
Linktree Jeff Ello.
Linktree Ghost Cat Patrick.
I've had Linktree Tyra Burton for forever.
That
so.
Chris Gore. So just look me up on Linktree. Oh my God. Crazy.
So we're getting down to the wire. Does anybody else have any questions? I know there was a lot of stuff there's a ton of stuff we can cover. There's a lot of stuff we did cover. Does anyone have anything they'd like to talk about? There you go.
How much of a difference would the production value or just like quality of the videos you're making make in the algorithm? Or would the algorithm detect that? Because I've known editing stuff when I went to film school like 15 years ago, right? But since then, editing software is so expensive. It's all subscriber based, so I'm like,
DaVinci Resolve is free.
I have to relearn on freeware like DaVinci Resolve, trying to find like an image editor for like making thumbnails, but I'm not quite there yet. Do I have to worry about that, or should I just start creating like a rhythm of uploading and?
This is a great time now that YouTube is seizing the mantle of short form entertainment. Their shorts is quite good, and it truly is a meritocracy. You need to, as you ramp up, and I just got done with a year of doing this myself. It is better to just do the reps, one a day, lowest fidelity. Give yourself 15 minutes for the raw. That's it. That's all you get. And then give yourself 2 hours to edit, and that's it. However raw or ugly it is, that's what you did today. That's 1 pixel. Do not let the perfect be that enemy of the good that keeps you from iterating. You got to show up. Those repeated, shallow interactions over time are how you build deep neural pathways with your audience.
Yeah, progress, not perfection.
Yes.
100%.
Right now, one of the top creators on YouTube right now is an old dude sitting in front of a camera. He's got kind of a twangy southernish accent, and he just tells about life advice. These are stories that your daddy never told you, and he gets millions of hits. That's all he does. Sets up his phone, talks, doesn't even have a good microphone, usually sitting in front of a fire in front of his barn or something like that. He's making it happen. Now, that's the trend now. That might not be the trend next week.
But authenticity is
authenticity.
Probably
That's the key right there.
Secret to success.
Well,
Absolutely.
Authenticity and consistency.
Yes.
We talked about Coke and Pepsi or whatever. The only way you could screw up doing Coke is having somebody walk up to a Coke vending machine, press the Coke button, and literally, if anything other than Coke shows up, you're upset. Like your Coke Plus, your Coke Zeros, or whatever. I press the button for the thing, and by always you see that thumbnail, like, I bet that guy's going to do that thing.
Yep.
Now, you don't want it to be exactly what you expected, because then it's predictable.
Yep.
Humans love to be almost right. We don't like it when we are right. We don't like it when we're wildly off. We like it to be almost right.
Your best friends in the world are the ones that you can always turn to and talk to, and you're pretty sure what you're going to get from them. The weirdos that you don't want to talk to are the ones who are all over the place because they scare the shit out of you, and you never know if they're going to be a good guy being talked to or they're going to be a bad guy. Always be that good guy who's always a friend to your audience. And be authentic. Any last words?
Oh, and I'm selling on polish. Polish is now cheap and easy. Polish is the word that Gmail suggests that you do at the end. I don't want anything I do to look polished anymore. I want it to be raw, authentic. So what cannot be faked? Time reactions, right? If a news item is in the middle of exploding, you probably don't have time to fake your take very well. You're giving an authentic take because you're doing it immediately. Grit. I've stopped doing lower thirds that are high quality on my live streams, and now I just have my tablet and I let everybody watch as I awkwardly chicken scratch the name of the thing, and then they watch as I draw flowers and unicorns and clouds on it. And on the one hand, it reeks of low effort because it took all of 5 minutes, but in this age, I took 5 whole minutes. That is unfakeable, and so again, it speaks to the importance of authenticity.
And I think with the popularity of YouTube and the show you just described, I think that's part of the reason the legacy media is dying.
Yep.
There are certain show formats that just seem old.
Yep.
Like late night TV.
Yep.
It just seems, I mean, Colbert, you could say maybe it was politics, maybe not. Maybe people are tired of phony shit.
Yep.
They're just tired of phony shit.
Yep.
You know, that's probably the reason that stuff is failing. It doesn't work anymore. I happened to catch an old episode of David Letterman from the 80s.
They're painful.
Well, painful in some ways, but it was real. It was authentic. He's in on the joke. He seemed more like YouTube than the current like late night phony. Every line is rehearsed. Those fake interviews with whatever actor is on promoting their movie, show a clip, haha joke. It's like, we know it's fake. It doesn't resonate now. In a post YouTube world, we're not feeling it. It's like an old sitcom format with a fake laugh track. It feels inauthentic. That's why the style of The Office, that kind of comedy, that resonates more. So I don't want to get too, off track, but I think that's part of the reason YouTube is successful, why it's also killing legacy media.
I was just gonna say, I think that's why Hot Ones is doing way better than a late night show to promote a new movie, because those questions are much more real to the person as opposed to the generic, tell me about what it was like to make a movie. And every single person goes on there, it's like, did you talk to my 3rd grade teacher to find that out? How did you know that? Also, and you get more authentic from the people. Also,
people talk about attention span, but look, Rogan does 3-hour interviews. A lot of people watch that. Or a show Happy, Sad, Confused by Josh Horowitz. I like him as an interviewer. I won't watch the 4-minute interview with some celebrity about their latest movie. I'll watch Josh Horowitz talk to Josh Brolin for an hour about weapons and have him tell stories about playing Thanos and whatnot. It feels more real. The Rogan interviews are real. Yeah. These other more long form, what are you going to get in 4 minutes? Nothing. It's terrible. So certain things have died. That kind of junket interview, late night is dying. It's really because people say politics. I think it's more the format. Yeah. And certain types of sitcoms are dying. So, yeah.
And on that note, let's go down the line. Everybody promote your stuff, and because that's what we're talking about, social media. So promote your social media, and everybody in this room, I'm going to check. I'm coming to your house. You better subscribe to everything that everybody's going to talk about. So let's start with Jeff. What you got going on?
That's Jeff, remember?
I have a YouTube channel called Photon Army. I have not posted a video in 6-7 years, somewhere in there, but I will.
My YouTube channel is Film Threat. Please sub to my other channels, trailers and interviews. A lot of great in-depth interviews with indie filmmakers, giving advice that all of you could use. And just go to my Linktree, that Chris Gore, which links to all my other Linktrees. So there you go.
Google my name, Brian Brushwood, or go to my Linktree.
Yes! Yes! A convert.
But if you're interested in taking a 2-day workshop, if you go to the website Scam Stuff, that's right, I play business on hard mode. You'll see a picture of me holding a goat, and it'll be called Do Your Weird Thing Class. It's 2 days of this panel for 2 days straight. That's what it is.
You sacrifice the goat.
What?
Sacrifice the goat.
No animals are harmed, right?
Only one way to find out, and that's at the event.
Same with shelf promotion.
Click here.
I'm Tara Burton. You can find me at taraburton.com and Linktree/Tara Burton. I have both and have had for years. But I do a podcast with Charles McFall from the digital media track called Be Awesome Together, where every week we try to inspire, educate, and bring together a community of the digital variety to help you create better content and get more stuff out there.
Follow me at GhostCatPatrick on everything. Most specifically, I'm trying to grow the YouTube page. I travel around a lot for my work, and so I shoot a lot of crazy stuff in various places around the country and around the world. It's everything from this kind of gamer content to, like I said before, I do a lot of stuff with motorcycles. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, that's fun, but not in that real typical way that a lot of people do motorcycle stuff. It's mostly just me being a fucking jackass. So enjoy that. Yeah, check me out. Beyond that, everybody else, thank you so much for your time. This was great. I think we covered some ground.
We solved it.
We solved it. That's it. Now we're all famous. Woo!
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Keep checking out with the film track. They have a lot of good stuff. We have Film School 101. Jeff and Hunter do some wonderful stuff. Teach you all how to be better filmmakers. Tonight, Matthew Foster will be doing his final panel tonight, where he's going to be discussing old science fiction. It should be very informative because that man knows everything there is to know about old movies.
When is that?
That is at 7 o'clock this evening in this room. Thank y'all.
Bravo.